So let's solve this question. First of all, what is the question? What is the minimum number of multiplications involved in computing the matrix product PQR? So there are three matrices you want to compute their product. Now, listen to the question. The question is saying minimum number of multiplications. Whenever you are asked about minimum, that means you are comparing some quantities. Minimum, the sense of minimum means that you must have two quantities, and among those at least two quantities will have one quantity as the lesser one, which will be known as minimum. So now how do you have two or three quantities or more quantities? Minimum, do you understand my point? Minimum is mentioned, that means the multiplications can be done in actually more than one way. In that way, and in that case only you will get a minimum for one of the way, and that will be your answer. Okay, let's see here. So you need to find out the product PQR. Now actually most of you must have not calculated it, but these multiplication can be done in two ways. Like first you multiply P with the Q matrix. First you multiply P with Q and then you multiply this with R. Okay, and then and other way is that you multiply first Q and R and then you pre-multiply P. Understood? Yes. So there are two ways. Can there be a third way like this? R into P into Q. Can this be a third way? R into P into Q. Why I am saying only two ways, not the third one? Third one is not the answer, because matrix multiplication is not commutative. PQR is not equal to RPQ. You can't change the order in which the multiplication is done. The order should remain the same. If it is PQR, first P then Q then R, first P then Q then R, first P then Q and then R only be the way in which you can multiply. This will not be a correct answer. Okay. Okay, so first of all, let's see what is the order of P. So order of P, it is given in the question. Order of P is 4 cross 2. 4 rows, 2 columns, 4 cross 2. And then Q, order of Q is 2 cross 4. Okay. So for this matrix product PQ, how many multiplications are required? So you know that it is equal to N into M into P. What is this N? N is this number, that is 2. And M into P means order of the resultant matrix, which is this much. So how many multiplications are resulting? 32 multiplications for just P and Q. Now in the second step, what will you do? You will just take this PQ matrix and multiply with the R matrix. So let's now see what is the order of PQ and R. So tell me, what is the order of PQ matrix? Order of PQ matrix, can anybody tell me? So we have seen two matrices multiply, order will be 4 into 4. Very easy. 4 into 4. Yes, good. So this will be, now these two will be multiplied. Again for this product, the multiplication required will be 4 into the order of the resultant matrix, that is 4 into 1, that means 16. So how many total multiplications will be required? This 32 plus this 16, 32 plus 16, that is 48. If you are multiplying in this way, that means first P and Q and then R. Okay, yes. So this is the number of multiplication required, 48. Now let's come to this way. How many multiplications are required? So again, order of first of all Q and R are multiplied. So order of Q is 2 cross 4, order of R is 4 cross 1. So for the multiplication of Q and R, number of multiplication required are 4 into 2 into 1, simply 8. 8 multiplication are required. Now again this resultant matrix multiplied with P. So we can see that order of P is 4 into 2. Order of QR will be 2 into 1. 2 into 1. So the number of multiplication for this product will be 2 into 4 into 1. That is again 8. So total number of multiplications in multiplying in this way will be equal to this 8 plus this 8. So 8 plus 8, that is 16. Minimum was asked. So minimum, you can see in the second way the answer, the minimum number of multiplication are required. That means that will be your answer. Okay. they don't consider the ways in which this multiplication can be done. And this is the use of this topic. Why we are studying this topic is the reason here. That you can see, if you are multiplying PQR in this way, you have to do 48 multiplications. By the way, in this way, which will give you the same result, is just requiring 16 multiplications. So if you know beforehand that in which way you should proceed to get the product, you can just reduce your calculation time like this. Okay, for the computers also, I have told you yesterday in the last lecture also that these matrices are very, very important in the programming and all. So if you have a large matrix like 100 cross 100, 100 cross 20, 100 cross 50 and so on, if you know that in which way the multiplication should be done, that the multiplications are lesser, then in that case your run time of that program will be lesser. Okay, so this is the use of this topic. That's why we are studying this. Understood, I guess, everybody? Okay, so our final answer will be 16. Attempt the next question on the slide. You need to multiply A1, A2, A3 and A4. First of this most important thing is that the order should remain the same. You can't do it as A2, A1, A3, A4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The order should remain the same. So the first way to multiply this is like this. First you take A1 and A2 and multiply them. Then you multiply this with A3 and then this resultant product with A4. One of the way in which this multiplication can be done. Second of the way is that, okay, A1, A2 taken together. Now A2, A3 is taken together. Then you multiply A1 with it. And finally you multiply A4. Brackets, keep the track of the brackets what I am using. Then again this product can be done like this. First multiply A2 and A3. Then multiply this A4. And at last multiply the A1 matrix. Okay. Similarly, you can take A3 and A4 together, then multiply A2, and then with this product finally multiply A1. And the last way in which this multiplication can be done will be A1, A2 multiplied together, and then this is multiplied with the product of A3 and A4. Product of A3 and A4. Total 5 ways are there to multiply these all matrices. Now, again the same question, the minimum number of multiplications are asked. So if you go and check for one by one, then it will obviously take a lot of time to calculate the number of multiplications. Understood or not? Like in last case, we had 2 ways. We just found out individually one for each of the way number of multiplication required, and then we found the minimum. But for this case, you have 5 ways. Now you will have to check all the 5 ways to get to the minimum. So in this case, you will have a short trick that you can use here. So let me discuss that short trick. By the way, the correct answer is 1500 only. So before writing, just see what I am trying to say. Just keep your pen aside for 2 minutes. I'll explain and then you can write it. Okay, what I am saying is, it will take a lot of time to check for every way, so that I have developed a short trick which is applicable for each and every matrix. Like in the last question also it is applicable. So what is the trick? First step in this trick is to write down the matrices in the same order as the multiplication required. So we are required the multiplication of 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I have written down the matrices like this, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and below these all matrices write down their orders. So referring to the question, order of A1 is given as 10 cross 5. Order of A2 is given as 5 cross 20. Then it is 20 cross 10 and then 10 cross 5. Okay. So this has been given to you. Now the thing is, after writing down this order, we know that the number of multiplications required for product of two matrices is having a formula of n into m into p. We have already seen this. Okay. Now what will I apply? I'll apply this logic that if I take the maximum number as my n, if I take the maximum number as my n, then it will not come into the multiplications later on also. That means it will result in the minimum multiplications required. What I'm trying to say is, choose the highest number present in the orders of your matrices and make that number to be n. So you can see that this 20 is the highest number available here. So what I will try to make this 20 as n, so that it is counted into calculations only one time, it will not repeat again. So understood? What will I do to make this as n? What will be the multiplication required? I'll just multiply a2 and a3. Understood or not up to this point what I'm trying to say? Please reply if there is any doubt, or should I repeat it again? Done? Write down the matrix in the order of the multiplication required, then place their orders below them, and then just look for the highest number available among the orders and make that highest number to be your n. So this is to be made n, that means you should multiply a2 and a3 first of all. So a2 and a3 multiplied first of all, the number of multiplications for this multiplication will be 20 times 5 into 10. So this is the multiplication required for a2 into a3, which will be equal to how many? 1000. 1000 multiplications are required to multiply a2 with a3. Yes, Sanket, good. Now, in the next step, which matrix should be multiplied? You know that we are getting the product either in this way or in this way. a2 and a3 should be multiplied together. So, in this way or this way. Now, for checking which first I should multiply a1 or a4, again we will repeat the same steps. Same steps means, again I'll write down the matrices, or let's say I'll write down just the order, that this matrix is having an order of 10 cross 5. This product matrix will be having an order of 5 cross 10, and this a4 is there which is having an order of 10 cross 5. Now again I look for the maximum number present among the orders. Then you can see that 10 is the maximum number, and that 10 should be made again the n value. So for n value, if you multiply this matrix and this matrix, then 10 is not becoming n, 5 is becoming n. Then what we should do, we should multiply these two together so that this becomes your n. So what will be the multiplication required? The multiplication required will be like this. First of all, a4 is to be multiplied, then a1. This is giving you the minimum value. Understood? So again we will proceed. So this means this product multiplied with this a4 will give you how many multiplications? So it will be equal to 10 into 5 into 5, that is 250. 250 up to this step. Next again this is remaining. Again I'll write down this matrix 10 cross 5. The resultant matrix will have order of 5 cross 5. Okay, and the multiplications required this time will be obviously equal to 5 into 10 into 5, that is 250. So final answer is total multiplication required will be 1000 plus 250 plus 250. 1000 plus 250 plus 250, that is 1500. Any doubt in this question? Why we are choosing maximum 1? Okay, why we are choosing maximum 1? Okay, let's say you have not chosen the maximum 1. Let's say you multiplied a1 and a2 first of all. Let's say you multiplied a1 and a2 first of all. Then what will happen if you multiply a1 and a2 first of all? The multiplications required will be 5 into 10 into 20. 5 into 10 into 20. And now if to this product you multiply a3, which is having the order of 20 cross 10, and this a1 a2 is having the order of 10 cross 20, then again this 20 will come into calculations like this. So this 20 and this 20, again and again it is coming into your calculations. Are you able to understand? If you are not taking the maximum one, then it will come into the calculation again and again, and it will continuously keep on increasing your number of multiplications, which can be reduced if you just consider your 20 to be n. Now this 20 will not again repeat in the number of multiplication like in this case. Okay, that's why we are choosing for the maximum one. Yes, obviously for minimum number of additions also, because again in the formula it will be n minus 1 m cross p. So again n minus 1 will be minimum when you choose your n minus 1 to be maximum one. Okay, so I guess there is no doubt now. So we should move forward. Okay, so write down next some 3 types of matrices we will write down. First one is known as some special matrices again. These are some important matrices which may come as a 1 mark question. So which may come as a 1 mark question. First one is known as involutory matrix. Anybody knows what is an involutory matrix? Okay, so everybody is answering a square equal to I. Yes, very good. Involutory is a matrix for which the product with itself results into an identity matrix. Product with itself results into an identity matrix. That is known as your involutory matrix. Okay, so not much concept required here. Just the thing that if you multiply the matrix with itself, if it results in identity matrix, then it is said to be involutory matrix. Next one is idempotent matrix. Anybody knows what it is? Idempotent. Idempotent. So it is a matrix for which A square is equal to A. A matrix for which A square is equal to A itself is known as idempotent matrix. Okay, just write it down. A square equal to A. Next one is nilpotent matrix. Write down the definition. I am writing down here. Nilpotent matrix is a square matrix. A square matrix Copy the definition. So I'll repeat, a square matrix is called a nilpotent matrix if there exists a positive integer m, such that a to the power m is O is again the null matrix. If m is the least positive integer such that am turns out to be a null matrix, then m is called the index of the nilpotent matrix A. Index of the nilpotent matrix A. So in all, what it is trying to say is that if on multiplying A with itself m times, if you are multiplying a matrix A with itself m times and it is resulting into a null matrix, then that matrix is said to be the nilpotent matrix. Okay, like if I give you an example, if I let's say that there is a matrix A, I'm writing down here example. If you give, I give you the matrix A as 1 minus 1. Let's say this is the matrix given to you. Okay, 1 minus 1, 1, minus 3, 3, minus 3, and minus 4, 4, minus 4. If you multiply this matrix with itself, means if you find out A square, you can find it out by multiplying that, but I am not multiplying, but you can check it on afterwards. Okay, it will come out to be your null matrix. Okay, it will come out to be a null matrix. So for a value of m, which is 2 here, this matrix is resulting into a null matrix. That means this will be a nilpotent matrix. Similarly, what if I multiply this A with 4 times? What will I get? If I multiply A 4 times with itself, what will I get? Tell me. Again, it should come out to be a null matrix, because A to the power 4 simply means A square into A square. Null matrix multiplied by itself will again give you the null matrix. Similarly, this will also turn out to be 0. Similarly, you can say that 2 to the power any k will turn out to be 0. Any k will turn out to be 0. So this is a nilpotent matrix. But what will be said to be the index of this matrix is the minimum positive value of this power, which makes this to be a null matrix. That means 4 will not be considered as its index, or any other number will not be considered as its index. Only this 2 is said to be its index. So this is a nilpotent matrix with degree or with index 2. Any doubt? So these are some matrices which can be asked as a 1 marker in your exam. Like you can get a MCQs, match the following type of question from these matrices also. So if there is no doubt, then move to the next topic, transpose of a matrix. And A cube is null matrix. A cube also should be null. No, why it should be null? We have seen some property. If A into B turns out to be null matrix, then it does not mean that this is a... Are you getting it or not? A or B is 0. Okay, so everybody is having some problem that A cube is null matrix or not. So let's find out. Just multiply A with A square. Is it giving you 0? 0, because null matrix into A. Every element of A square is null 0. So if you multiply that with anything, that it will turn out to be 0 only. Similarly, A to the power 2k will also be 0. So, but the minimum value for which this is coming out to be null matrix is this 2. That's why this index is 2. Okay, that's what I was saying you. Understood or not? If you multiply A with A itself, you are getting A square as null matrix. Now, if you want to find out A cube, what will you say? It is equal to A square into A. A square itself is null matrix, and the property of null matrix is that if you multiply any null matrix with any matrix, then it will result into null matrix again. Okay. But the minimum value is 2, that's why we are saying that it is of order or of index 2. Okay, now tell me what is transpose of a matrix. So yes, everybody has answering and everybody is answering it very correctly. Transpose is nothing but a matrix obtained by changing its rows into columns and columns into rows. So for example, Okay, definition you can copy from the slide. Definition in the slide. Matrix obtained by interchanging the rows and columns of a given matrix is known as its transpose. So if I say that A is a matrix like this, then its transpose will be just interchange the rows into columns. So this column will become its row, first row, and second column of A will become A transpose is second row. Like this, simply. You must have done, you must be using some smartphone right now. Okay, you must possess a smartphone. The world is now developing. Everyone has a smartphone. So if you want to watch some movie or YouTube video, what do? You first, the screen is in this mode. Okay, first the screen is in this mode, and your YouTube video plays over the screen. Now, if you want to watch the movie, what will you do? You will take just a landscape mode, and then your movie will turn out on the screen. So that is also transpose only. How do you change into landscape mode? That landscape mode changing is actually applying the operation of transpose. That is your transpose. Yes. So this operation of changing into modes of different modes of a screen is obtained by using the concept of transpose. Okay, so this is transpose. Now let me ask you one thing, that if A is defined like this, Aij M cross N, then how will you define A transpose? What will be the order of A transpose? If A has an order of M cross N, what will be the order of A transpose? Then you know that because rows are interchanged into column, column into rows, obviously its order will change into N cross M. Everybody is right. And the element Aij, if it was A12 earlier, now for the transpose matrix it will become A21. Like in this case, this 1, 2 was -1, but now it has become 2, 1. Similarly, this was A3, 2. Now in this matrix it will become A2, 3. So I can write like this, A, J, I, N cross M. This is the notation of transpose matrix. Yes, very good. Okay. This is the transpose. Have you written it down? Example 2. Write down that and this example. Now using this concept of transpose, we will define two most important type of matrices. Two most important type of matrices. Can anybody guess what type of matrix I am going to define now? Secret in that, now I am going to define what is known as symmetric matrix. Symmetric matrix. So a matrix for which A is equal to A transpose. A matrix for its transpose is equal to the matrix itself is known as a symmetric matrix. Very basic definition. If a matrix has its transpose equal to the matrix itself, it is known as symmetric matrix. Okay, don't write right now. I'll ask you whenever when you have when to write. Okay, don't write right now. I'll give you the time. Now tell me. I am saying symmetric matrix is defined like this. A transpose is equal to A. Now if A has, let's say A has some order of M cross N. A has order of M cross N, then you know then its transpose will have an order of N cross M. Then can it become valid? Can this equality become valid or not? What I am saying, if A is a rectangular matrix of order M cross N, its transpose will again be a rectangular matrix of order N cross M, then this equation will never hold good or true. This equation will never hold true because you know that for equality of two matrices, their order should be the same. Yes, answering what I tried to ask you, that a matrix will be symmetric only if it's a square matrix, because you know for a square matrix these two numbers are equal, so that these also will become equal, and now you can equate them. Okay, so now again I am defining symmetric matrix. A symmetric matrix is a square matrix for which the transpose is equal to the matrix itself. Okay, so for a square matrix A, if A transpose is equal to A, then it is known as symmetric matrix. Okay, don't write it down right now. I'll give you the time. So, what we noted, that it should be a square matrix. Now let's say A is defined like this: Aij of order n. We have already said it is of square matrix. Okay, then A transpose, we have seen it will be equal to what? Aj of order n. Okay, now if they are to be symmetric, we can say that if they are to be symmetric, then we want A transpose is equal to A, which will imply that what? Elements Aj. For A transpose, the element is Aj, and that should be equal to Aij. Did you understand this? What I said? Because this is a symmetric matrix, then A transpose is equal to A, and for that to be hold true, Aj should be equal to Aij. Okay? Now let's look at the two cases. What are the two cases? First case is when I is not equal to j, and the second case is when I is equal to j. Let's say I is not equal to j. Let's say I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 2. Let's say I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 2. Then what is this condition giving me? What is this condition giving me? That A to 1. I am writing down here. A to 1. I have taken j as 2, I as 1. A to 1 is equal to A1 2. Okay. Similarly, if I switch to some other elements, let's take j as 3 and I as 2. So it will be A32 equal to A23 and so on for the all elements for which I is not equal to j. So I think you got my point. What I'm trying to say is that if you look at a matrix which is symmetric matrix, I'm not talking about the diagonal elements, but if this value is x, if this is A12, then A12 will be equal to A21, means this will be also x. Similarly, if this value is y, this will also be y. If this value is minus z, this value will be minus z again. Okay, so what I said, for non-diagonal elements, the elements will be like this, and that is why this matrix is known as symmetric matrix, because you can see there is a symmetricity about the diagonal. If you take the diagonal to be a mirror, then you can see that the upper part is forming a mirror image like this. That's why there is a symmetricity, that's why the name is symmetric matrix. Okay, one thing to note. Now let's come to this part when I is equal to j. Let's suppose that I is 1, and because I is equal to j, that means j will also be 1. So according to this condition is saying what? A11 equal to A11. This is saying what? That A11 is equal to A11. Similarly, if I take both to be 2, then this condition is saying A22 equal to A22, A33 equal to A33. Now, this statement means what? Like if I say that, if I give you something that I want to ask you two statements, that my name is Pallavi Gupta and Pallavi Gupta is my name. If I ask you what is the difference between two statements, then you can say no difference, that they are one and the same thing. Similar thing is here. A11 equal to A11. It is followed for every quantity, every number. The number equal to itself, it's always true. Okay, yes, active and passive, so it is the same thing. So it is also saying the same thing, that A11 equal to A11. Oh my god, we already know this thing. So we are not getting any conclusion from here. So this means that for every number it will be satisfied. -2 equal to -2, 2 equal to 2, 0 equal to 0. That means your diagonal elements, there is no condition imposed on them. They can be any number and still this equality will hold true. Understood or not? So what I am trying to say that for forming a symmetric matrix, the symmetric matrix will look like this, where the non-diagonal elements will be mirror image about the diagonal, and the diagonal elements can be any real number, because this is satisfied for all the numbers possible. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you. Finally, this is how your A matrix, symmetric matrix will look like. By looking at the matrix now, you can judge whether it is a symmetric matrix or not. Okay, so please copy it down right now. Copy it down and then we'll move forward and ask if there is any doubt. Okay, so I guess everybody has completed now. So let's move to its step brother, which is skew symmetric matrix. So symmetric matrix is step brother, which is known as skew symmetric matrix. Let's talk about that now. So can you give me the definition? What is a skew symmetric matrix? I am changing here only, so don't get distracted. Skew symmetric matrix. What do you know about skew symmetric matrix? Okay, so skew symmetric matrix is a matrix for which A transpose is equal to negative of A. A transpose is equal to negative of A. Yes. Again, tell me, can it be a rectangular matrix? Can a skew symmetric matrix be a rectangular matrix? So, obviously, it cannot be, because again you have to equate them. So, their order should be remaining the same, and that's why they can't be a rectangular matrix. So, again, it will be a square matrix. So, for a square matrix A, if A transpose is equal to negative of A, then it is known as skew symmetric matrix. Skew symmetric matrix. Okay. Now, if A is this one, A transpose, you know that we can write A transpose as AJI. Okay. For a matrix of 3 cross 2, yes, no, we can't have, because symmetricity in matrices, it applies to being with the transpose, equal to a transpose or not, like equal to transpose or negative of A transpose. So if you want to equate them, their order should remain the same. And we know that if A is having an order of m cross n, then A transpose will have an order of n cross m. So we can never equate them if they are a rectangular matrix. Okay. Okay. So what I was telling you that A is this one, then A transpose we define like this. So from condition of skew symmetricity, we know that this will be equal to A transpose equal to minus of A. So I can say that AJI will be equal to minus of AIJ. Okay, I'm just changing the previous notation only. So keep track of that. So AJI equal to minus of AIJ. Again, we have the two cases here, when I is not equal to J and when I is equal to J. So, again let's consider the same, that I is equal to 1 and J is equal to 2. Then in this case, A21 will be equal to minus of A12 using this condition. A21 will be equal to minus of A12. Similarly, A32 will be equal to minus of A23. Means the change that will happen here is that if this is x, then this needs to be minus of x. If this is y, then it needs to be minus of y. And similarly, if this is minus, then it needs to be plus z. This is the change that will occur here. Okay, this is the change that I was talking about. So, what I was telling you, the change that will occur is that x is coming here, so it will be minus x. Again, you can see that there is sort of symmetricity. There is a sort of symmetricity, but not exactly the mirror image is there. If there is x, here is minus x. Again, it's the same thing as step brother kind of a thing. If it's x, then minus x, minus y, and so on. So that's why it's not known as non-symmetric. Focus on the term, it's not non-symmetric. Non-symmetric is some other matrix. It is not non-symmetric, it is skew symmetric. There is some symmetricity, but what is the change? change is that the signs are not the same in this case. Signs will interchange. Okay. So this is this is known as skew symmetric matrix. Now tell me about this. What will happen with the diagonal elements? What will happen with the diagonal elements? So for the diagonal elements, this statement will give you A11 will be equal to minus A11, A22 will be equal to minus of A22, and so on. Yes. Now, any number, a number such that it is equal to its negative. What number it can be? A number which is equal to its negative, it can only be 0. 0 is the only number which is equal to its negative. 0 and minus 0 are equal, they are both 0. 2 and minus 2 cannot be equal. Similarly, 5 and minus 5 cannot be equal, but 0 is always equal to its negative, that is 0 again. So that's why what we can conclude from here is that these diagonal elements are always or all zeros. These diagonal elements are all zeros. So what will this matrix look like? So skew symmetric matrix will look like this. Diagonal elements will be always 0. Okay. Mathematically also you can prove that if I take this minus A1 on this side, then it will become 2A11 equal to 0, which means A11 equal to 0. Similarly, A22 will also come out to be 0, and so on. Understood? And if understood, please write down all these things and focus on the term skew symmetric. It's not non-symmetric. Now I'll ask you one small question after this. Question, or actually it will be a note point. Write it as a note. First of all, answer me. What will be the sum of all elements of a skew symmetric matrix? Sum of all elements of a skew symmetric matrix. Can you answer this? Sum of all elements, not diagonal elements. Sum of all elements I am asking. Yes, definitely it will be 0 only. Why 0? See this matrix. If you sum them up all up, x plus minus x 0, y plus minus y 0, z plus minus z 0, and diagonal elements are again zeros only. So sum will always be 0. Very important note that sum of all elements of a skew symmetric matrix are always 0. Okay? Diagonal element shall be 0. Again, because of the same reason that a number which is equal to the negative of itself. A number which is equal to the negative of itself is only one number in all of the number system, that is 0. And I am talking about all the real numbers here. I am not talking about any complex matrices. Complex matrices is a topic which will come sometime later. But for now, we are talking about all the real matrices. And for real matrices, for the real numbers, only number which satisfies this equality is 0. You can't reverse this logic that if you are given that sum of all elements is 0, then it will be a skew symmetric matrix. It's not true, obviously. It's not obviously always true. You can take any example, like if you have 1, minus 1, and let's say 2 is here, so minus 2. Is it a skew symmetric matrix? Obviously not. It's not a skew symmetric matrix, but sum is always 0. So counter of this is not true, or opposite of this is not true. Understood? Okay, so let's move forward. Now we will talk about non-symmetric matrix. Write down non-symmetric matrix.